Hiya everyone, here we are again. We're at the Nuneaton Test Centre on Vernon's Lane, and we're just pulling away, and this is going to be route number 8 for Nuneaton, and it's number 8 of 10. So there's 10 test routes. These are the most recently published by the DVSA. There's 10 test routes, and this is route number 8, as I've said. Now if you want to access the other 9 on there on the YouTube, just click subscribe and you'll see them there. Okay, we've now turned into Beaumont Road, and on Beaumont Road, as you know, you can only go left here, so you have no other option. So we're turning left from Beaumont Road into Countess Road. As usual on Countess Road, there's something to give way to, so be aware of that when you turn in here. We go all the way to the end of Countess Road, and then we're going to turn right. Sometimes there's parked cars blocking your view here, but usually you can get out quite easily. This is Earls Road we're on now. I'm going to turn right again. I'm going to turn right into Manor Road. If you look in the description box below this video, what you'll see, apart from anything else, is there'll be this route listed out, so you can do with that as you will. And also you'll see some useful links for learner drivers, particularly those just about to take their driving test, mapped out there as well. Mapped out, what am I talking about? Some useful links on there. We're going straight ahead at this roundabout here. This is the one at the top of Queen's Road, but we're not going into Queen's Road yet. We're going straight ahead here. That's going to take us up the hill. There you go. This is Croft Road. I'm just going up the hill here. Over the bridge. And then we're going to turn left at the mini roundabout here. So this is a new mini roundabout they've recently put in, and it turns into Greenmore Road. So one thing to know about Greenmore Road here is, first of all, they'll probably ask you to turn right into the Jubilee Sports Centre car park, where you may do some bay parking, either parking forward or reversing into a bay. And that's just on your right here, where this grey coach is waiting at the moment. And that's usually where they go to do that on this test route. And you'll probably know lots of people who've been in there and practiced their manoeuvres in there, and that's why. Also along this road, they may ask you just to pull in and park on the left, and then get you to pull away again, just like this truck is in front of us, who's also on a driving lesson by the look of things. They're just wanting to see if you're going to do your 6-point check and check your blind spot before you move off. Also, it's on a bit of a hill, so they don't want you to roll back either. But anyway, we're just going to carry along Greenmore Road here until we get right to the end of it. We're coming up to a mini roundabout, and we're going going to turn left at that mini roundabout. That's going to be the first exit. That's going to take us into Bullring, which is where we are now, which kind of turns into, which leads into, should I say, College Street. And that does that around about here, where we're going to turn right at this roundabout. So right is going to be the third exit, and this is going to take us on to the A444. So because there's no, it's not a spiral one, so keep nice and close to the island itself. And remember to do your lifesaver look and move in directly into the left-hand lane as you're coming off of the roundabout there. So two things really important as you're coming off. One is a lifesaver look, and the other one is to make sure you get into the left-hand lane. Now here we are coming to the next roundabout by the George Eliot Hospital. And we're going to go straight ahead, taking the second exit. So the first exit takes you into the services, where the filling station that is, but we don't want to go there. We want to turn the main road. This is called Griff Way, but it is the A444. As we come down to the roundabout at the Bermuda Island, we're going to move over because we're going to turn right. And that's the one. That's the fourth exit. Is it the third or fourth? I can never remember. I think it's the fourth exit that takes us past McDonald's and into St David's Way. But we're on the A444 at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the fourth exit. As we come down to the traffic lights, this is going to take us into Bermuda Park. I called this the Bermuda Island. I've heard it been called the Bermuda Island and also the Griff Island as well. So you can make your minds up on that. I'm sure it's not that controversial. It pretty much means the same thing. So what we do on here is we follow the lane that says Berm Park, B-E-R-M, Park, on it. And here it is, Berm Park, look, on the road there. We follow that around. Now as you turn into this lane around here that says Burn Park, you'll notice there's a line on the outer, there's a line on the lane, on the outer line, and we need to follow that towards this sign anyway, and then turn in like that, and that will put us in the correct position to go into Bermuda Park. My lanes and lines mixed up, but I think we can pretty much see where we needed to go. So into Bermuda Park. This is St David's Way. It's going to take you past McDonald's on your left hand side, and again this is where they may ask you to pull into one of the car parks here and do some manoeuvres. We're not doing that today, so we're going to go straight down here, down to the end of St David's Way. We're going to turn left at the roundabout, taking the first exit. All seems to be clear, and that takes us into Walsingham Drive. going round the back of KFC, but we're on Walsingham Drive and we're going to turn right at the roundabout at the end of it. And when you turn right here, it's quite important to, you know, get the good position on approach. So we're near to the reservation here, and we also want to be quite close to the island as we move in. It's only the second exit, so we need to check the mirrors, signal, lifesaver look, and then into the left lane as you come off. And again, you know, if you're turning right at a roundabout, remember to do your lifesaver look and move into the left lane on your exit. This is now the A444. It's a 70-mile-an-hour road at this point. But what we're going to do is going to turn left here. That takes us off the first exit from this road, from this A444. We just need to keep the speed up. There's quite a big lorry behind us at the moment. Doesn't want us to slow down on the carriageway. We're going to move off of the carriageway. Then we're going to be quite firm with the brake, slowing everything down. There's your big lorry. Slowing everything down into second gear so we can take this bend really smoothly. We're on Sutherland Drive. We're going to go all the way to the end of Sutherland Drive. On your left hand side here is Reynolds Road. They may get you to turn down there to do a manoeuvre or two. If they've already done the kind of parking earlier, then you just carry on straight down here and you'll go all the way to the end of Sutherland Drive. Thing to remember about Sutherland Drive, you're now back down into the 30 zones. So you've been going quite quickly on the A444, and now you're back down to the 30. So we must, you know, be kind of maintain the speed that's required for this road. At the end of the road, we're going to turn left, and this is a bit unusual. It's not difficult, but it is unusual, and it just takes us into this little slip road here, where there's a give way at the end of it. Now to turn left here, you need to crane your neck all the way around so you can look over your shoulder, because we don't want these cars here that are just passing us now to crash into us as we move off. And there you go, we're all clear, so we can go. Give the pedestrians plenty of room, fairly obviously. This is now Nuneaton Road, and what we know about Nuneaton Road, first of all, it's a 30 zone. Secondly, as we get to the end of it, there's a dip in the road, so the road dips down quite sharply and then you go back up the hill. At the bottom of the dip, they've quite craftily placed a nice speed camera. So if you're doing, for instance, 30 miles an hour here, which we are not at the moment, but if you were doing 30 miles an hour here, as you start to go down this dip, very easy for the car to drift over onto 33, 34, and that's where that camera will catch you. So just do be careful about that. We can see actually that the speed limit changes now from 30 to 50, so we'll keep it at 30, go past the signs, and then we can increase the speed. This is now turned into Coventry Road. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn right in a few seconds into Gypsy Lane. So we're not going to go as far as the roundabout, but we are going to turn right into Gypsy Lane. Now there's loads of road markings on the road here, lots of hatched lines, and so what we have to do is be careful that we don't go over the hatch lines. We don't go into the central reservation until there's a space for us. But now we can go. So quite a lot to look for there with the hatch lines, and they're not always obvious, and very often there's lots of dust and mud over them because there's a quarry on our right at the moment, and you know, it does kick up a lot of muck on the road, as you can probably tell right now. Going to give this lorry time to move out, room to move out. There you go. So this is Gypsy Lane. Now it's a single carriageway road and there's no street lights. So that tells us that it's a 60 miles an hour road. Well, that's the speed limit anyway. I don't know whether it's wise to try and do 60 on this road. I certainly wouldn't. But we've got to show that we're confident to get up to some speeds down here, and that we can cope with the bends in the roads correctly as well. So we don't want to be going too slow on the straight bits, and we don't want to be going too fast on the bendy bits. So that's kind of the way to look at it, really. As we come to the end of Gypsy Lane, we're going to turn left at the roundabout, taking the first exit. Which takes us into Marston Lane. And just here there's a chicane. There's a traffic calming measure. And if you look at the curb here, if you just glance at the curb, what you'll see is there's all chips out of it, where people have got that bit right there a bit wrong and chipped it with their wheel hub or whatever. We're going to take the next right from Marston Lane, and we're turning right at the mini roundabout into Stirling Way. Going to follow Stirling Way around. The first thing we encounter is a strange roundabout that's plonked itself in the middle of the road. It's a traffic calming measure, so we're just going to go around that, following the road ahead. This one we're going to turn left, really. Although we're turning left, it's going to keep us on Stirling Way. Seems to be clear. First exit to the left. And then there's another one of these roundabouts they've plonked in the middle of the road just to keep everybody nice and slow. Residential area, quite a good idea probably. But a little bit of work for you on your test there to do. And there's another little roundabout coming up, and this time we're going to turn left, taking the first exit at this one. We'll still be on Stirling Way, by the way. It's a kind of a loopy type of road. That's going to take us back down the hill as we go over the speed bump here. It's going to take us back down the hill to a mini roundabout where we're going to turn right, and that brings us back onto Marston Lane. Marston Lane has one or two little speed bumps along it. Be nice and steady, try and get them up the centre of the car so it's not too bumpy. Now look after the car, look after your passenger as well. I think on your test your passenger is quite an important person in terms of, you know, what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so when we come to the end of Marston Lane, there's a roundabout. What we're going to do is we're going to turn right at that roundabout, taking the third exit. So it's a strange looking roundabout, this one is, in that it's a strange shape. It's not completely circular, more of a kind of, I don't know what you call this shape actually. It's the third exit, it's this one here, it's called Leyland Road. And that brings us along this way here. Leyland Road's quite a straight, easy road. Nothing too much to report, but at the end of this road, we're going to turn left. So on Leyland Road, we're turning left onto Lutterworth Road. All pretty clear. You can tell it's half term, can't you? We're right in the middle of school time here, or school run time, and there's no traffic on the road. So that means, oh, it's not half term, it's Easter. Yeah. So you can tell, anyway, you can tell the schools are not open today because, yeah, there's not much traffic. But anyway, we're going to go straight ahead at this next roundabout, taking the second exit. So a lot of people, when they approach this, to go straight ahead, so for some reason will just go into the right hand lane. Please don't do that. Straight ahead is the left hand lane here. And actually, when you get to this point, you can probably see why, because straight ahead seems to point down, I think that's called Avenue Road. We want to go around here into Highfield Road. So on the lessons that I take, many people seem to want to always go into the right hand lane there. Please go in the left hand lane to go straight ahead. But here we are, we're on Highfield Road now. We're just going to follow this around. A couple of things we know about Highfield Road is that as you come down here, what will come into view is a yellow shop, or what I call a yellow shop. I don't actually know what it is called officially, but there it is. And at that yellow shop, there's a mini roundabout, and actually they've just repainted the markings in, so you can actually see it now. Just a week ago you couldn't see any of these markings until you got about here. It is a mini roundabout, so have a good look, be a couple cautious, have a good look into Lister Street before you continue on. Also, there's a low bridge. So the markings under this low bridge can be confusing for learners sometimes. The ones that kind of stick out there, they're for high-sided vehicles, so we can just drive straight over those, no problem. So it's running a little car. So this has now become Attleborough Road, and it will soon become Church Street. And what we're going to do at this roundabout here, where the library is we're going to turn left, taking the first exit. So left at the library roundabout, taking the first exit, coming straight onto this crossing here. It looks like it's on red, and it looks like it's going to turn to green quite shortly. There it goes. And we're going to go straight ahead at the next one, and for that we need to be in the right hand lane. So as you're approaching the rope walk roundabout, make sure that you're in the right hand lane at this point, so that as you get beyond this crossing, that's good. It's good that that's turned red, because now hopefully you can see the lane markings. And as you get past this crossing, you need to move directly into the middle lane on approach, because we're going straight ahead. Again, this is one where learner drivers and drivers on test can often get their positioning wrong. So we're now in the middle lane, and that looks like our space, and we can move into it. Mirrors and signal again. Lifesaver look, because we've changed lanes there. So this has put us into the Rowan Ringway. I always want to say highway. I think it's Ringway. Rowan Ringway. And at the traffic lights down there, we're going to be turning left. So basically means we're going to be in this left-hand lane at this point as we approach the junction. I'm often asked if you need a signal here. At this point you do, and at this point you still do. Although you're in a left turn lane only, it is physically possible for you to go straight on. So your left signal will just confirm your position. So we've turned into Queen's Road. And on Queen's Road, as we know, it's a 20-mile-an-hour zone. So a good idea when you're going through 20-mile-an-hour zones is to leave the car in second gear, and that will help you just to keep it at 20 or below. Lots of shops and pedestrians here, so you can see why it's 20, why they've decided that that should be the speed. And it will feel quite slow to you, and that's good because it's supposed to. As we get up here, we can see the speed limit changes back to 30 now, and so we can increase the speed if it's clear, and we can get third gear again. Mr. Recovery seems to want to park on this side of the road. That's fine, we can move around. Now we're coming up next to a roundabout. The roundabout, we're going to turn right back into Beaumont Road, and because that Beaumont Road is beyond 12 o'clock, if you imagine it's a clock face on a clock face from here, then we would need to put a right signal on. Again, just confirming what you're doing to the traffic around you. Looking for a blocker. There's, oh, hang on, Mr. Duster decided to go a different way. That grey car is our blocker, and we can move on. We're turning into Beaumont Road. Mr. Duster's got out of the way now, so that's fine. And we can carry on. This here, just a little less space, less speed with the van and the parked car. Just go through there, and we can carry on now. Back into third gear. I have seen people being asked to park on the right hand side here and reverse back a couple of car lengths on this Beaumont Road, so be aware that that might happen as well. And as we were approaching this green fence, to drop the car back into second gear. It's a fairly sharp bend, and also we know that it changes to 20 back just around the bend here, and we are back now in Vernon's Lane, just where the test centre is. And so you'll be asked to pull up and park on the left. So just a reminder, if you want to see the other test routes for Nuneaton, just click the subscribe button, and also if you look in the description box below, then you'll see lots of information that you need about this test route. In the meantime, cheers guys, I shall see you in the next video.